What is going on, Amazon sellers? Welcome to the Flips Nations channel. If you're new here, my name is Rob and I'm a six-figure Amazon seller. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating how I find items to sell on Amazon for a profit, meaning just various sourcing techniques. And I'll be using my favorite extension called BuyBot Pro. If you're interested in a free trial for that, there's a link in the description below. Also down there is 100% free Amazon FBA online arbitrage course. If you're just starting and you need some free resources to build your foundation, that course has jam-packed information. Seriously, it's a bunch of information, 100% free. I highly suggest you use it if you're just starting out. And if you are just starting out, you should also consider joining our group. Over 1,000 members in Discord group, also free. That is also below. If you do find value in this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions at all, leave it in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Now let's jump over to my computer and I'll show you exactly how I find items to sell on Amazon for a profit.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is manual source, which is simply put, just going on Google and searching for the category we're interested to look for. So let's do just like Nike sale. If we want to look for something in the Nike category, we just put Nike sale. Oh, you know what? I've done Nike sales or sourcing for Nike a lot on my other sourcing videos. So let's do something else. Let's do Lego sales. And if you are gated on Legos, I have a Ungate video that I'll link below. Really easy to get ungated on Legos if you are gated for that. So you can join in on the fun. Right now, Legos, you can find a lot of good sales during Q4. So it shouldn't take too long to find something. What I generally look for is something with a very large discount, right? The larger the discount, the better. So this one we can see it's almost 50% off. I want to try something for 50% off, right? So looking through here. I also don't want to sell too high of a ticket price on Legos just because if a Lego set gets returned and it was opened, you don't know. There's so many pieces, you don't know if something got missing or something. And it's really hard to resell a used Lego. Resell meaning try to liquidate it on eBay or something. Whereas like something like shoes, if it's worn, at least you can resell it used and people will buy it. Let's see. See some of these just a little too high. Okay, let's look at this one. Lego City Police Chase. It's on a pretty large discount. So what we're going to do is just going to copy the title. We're going to go over to Amazon. I'm going to paste it. All right, so with Legos, you got to look at the number, right, to make sure you're, in fact, sourcing the right one. So 6317. 6317. There might be multiple listings. So if you see these panels right here, this is from BuyBot Pro. I have a free trial below if you're interested, but BuyBot Pro is really great with this feature just because you can kind of get a snapshot view without actually going to the listing of just relevant data points like number of FBA sellers, number of merchant sellers, and the BSR. The lower the BSR, the higher the sales velocity. So this one right here, I think this is the correct listing. This sales velocity is pretty low. It's low enough. I tried to target under 100,000. Now the BSR differs as far as the sales velocity per category. A 64,000 BSR in toys and games isn't the same as another category, right? So this is the listing, I believe. So let's check over here. Same picture, same number, right? All right. So I'll let BuyBot Pro load up. $67.99, so around $68. All right. So let's put the buy price into BuyBot Pro, just $68, and we're going to click Analyze. And let it load for a second. So I'm just going to go through the data points that I look at on BuyBot Pro. There's so much information here. I collapse all the things that I don't really look at as much. Although all these are pretty relevant, it really depends on you. Very subjective to which data points you look at. But I'll just go through the ones that I look at. So first thing, we'll go on dashboard. I'm not logged in right now, but it'll let you know right from the jump if you can sell this product or not. And it's really advantageous to look at this rather than go on Amazon FBA inventory, try to add the product to see if you're gated or not. This right here makes your time much more efficient by just looking if you can sell this, if it's a hazmat, if you're eligible, and if it's a dangerous good. Then we can go into alerts to see if it's a meltable. If it's a meltable right now, you can send it into FBA, no problem. But during non-meltable season, which is usually during the summertime, I forget the exact dates, but it's around summertime, you're not able to FBA it. You can FBM it, you can, but You cannot FBA it. The IPA radar, I believe BuyBot Pro has its own data from its sellers that have alerted them if certain brands have given them IP complaints. So a really cool feature. If it's oversized, it'll let you know right here this product is oversized, so the fees could be a little higher. And if it has variation, this one does have a variation. Now, speaking of variations, this tab right here, you can click Show Variations. So generally speaking, if one variation has a lot of reviews, we can assume that it has the most sales, right? That's usually what most sellers do. It's not as relevant for this listing, but things like apparel, which has, sizes like small, large, medium, extra large, or shoes, size 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the works. This gives us a really user-friendly chart to know which variation is selling the most, quote unquote, on most. A size small could have the largest amount of review share than a size medium. This can be indicative that the size small is doing the best as far as sales. Not always the case, but at least it gives us some sort of data point that we can use to help make better decisions when we purchase, correct? So this one, frustration-free packaging is selling the most versus the standard packaging. So take that with what you will, but if it's a size 7 versus a size 9, if the size 7 has a larger amount of review count, then we can assume that the size 7 is selling the best. Maybe we'll start with the size 7 first to sell, right? So amazing and very powerful tool right here. Now back to the panel on the right, we're going to scroll down and look at the details. This is probably the most used as far as what I use. We can, bam, right here, the returns 50%. Profit $34. It gives us ASIN, lets us copy the ASIN immediately if we want to paste it and try to add it to inventory. You can also copy the ASIN up here as well. JZ is what it ends with. JZ, same ASIN, right? And then it gives us our break even. If we did want to sell to break even, it would be at $97. And also, if you want to FBM this product, you can toggle FBM, you can put your shipping cost, click analyze. Essentially, if you're doing FBM, you're not going to be accrued the Amazon pick and pack fee. You'll just be accrued your own shipping fee. So that'll give you an updated price and profit based on your merchant fulfilled shipping cost. But we're going to assume we're going to FBA this, and it goes back to the original ROI and profit that we saw here. Scrolling down, we have the BSR. I'll look at the BSR here, 64,000 selling well in the top 1%. And then also the estimated sales calculator telling us that this sells about 306 units this month and gives us a projected as well. Scrolling down here is further, the export data tool, very, very useful tool. In the back end, you can connect your Google Sheets to BuyBot Pro. And if I want to send this to a sheet to my VA maybe, or to just my own personal lead sheet, you can just click it and it'll say it's copied over to that Google Sheet, and it's immediately copied for you, whether you want to bookmark it, whether, again, you want to communicate it to your VA. All the works, you can do that just by clicking a button. Excellent tool. There's other tools here as well. This Profit Protector Pro tab I use as well. That's their Repricer that I use. You can set your minimum maximum right from the listing. Really powerful way to save time. But we're not going to go into Profit Protector Pro in this video, but in the future I will go through this. Anyways, also it has all these charts. They've imported this data from Keepa, I believe, but I prefer to just use Keepa itself, and that is what we're going to go to now. So let's check out the Keepa here. And I'm going to run through this kind of slowly. So if you're really versed in Keepa, you can fast forward this. But essentially, I'll first look at the year. In the full year, we can see that there was buy box price present for a little while. Then the buy box gets suppressed, and comes back. The buy box price, again, guys, is just the price when you can see it at the front of the listing, and it allows you to add it to cart immediately. Usually when the buy box price is present, it leads to higher sales because it gives the customers a call to action button, right? When a call to action button is not present, it warrants the seller or the customer to click the all buying options and find another seller. But that usually leads to less sales. I think a lot of customers don't know that you can click see all buying options and look at the other sellers on the listing. That might be why, but nonetheless, the sales velocity usually does decrease when there's not a buy box present. The yellow shaded area region indicates that Amazon was on the listing, and when Amazon's on the listing, most of the time they have an abundant amount of the buy box share, which means they're going to be greedy with the buy box. They're not going to give it to the seller, the third party seller, which is us. And they're going to sell it at a price that's not usually profitable for us. So that's why I usually stay away from when Amazon is selling on a listing. From my own experience, I hardly ever get the buy box, So we can see here earlier in the year, in January, Amazon was on this listing and was selling for around $100. When Amazon was off the listing, we can see that the sales rank went up, meaning the sales velocity decreased. Again, it's because there's no buy box. The seller count is around 10 sellers. As we keep going, in May, the buy box came back, and Amazon's not on the listing either. So third-party sellers were gifted the buy box, selling well. The BSR is still hovering around 50K. Amazon came back in June, July, August, September. We can see that the BSR has dramatically decreased, meaning the sales velocity has increased. Again, because the buy box is present, we can assume is the reason. Then buy box went away. Seller count is decreasing, went back up. The BSR is decreasing. This is around Black Friday, right? Yep, no, not yet. Black Friday happened right around this time. You can see that the BSR dramatically decreased all the way to 2,000. So a lot of sales happening at this time, and as a result, the seller count has decreased. And now, during the month of December, the seller count has dramatically decreased, while the BSR has still is simultaneously pretty low, meaning that sellers have been going out of stock probably, and buy box is present at almost 100. Wow, $130 at one point. There was a buy box, and there's only 6 sellers at that time. So maybe this product was hard to find, and sellers were able to put it on the listing, and it flew off. And at this moment, let's go to the last 3 months. Around this time, $138 is the buy box, and with only 3 sellers. And today, the buy box was present yesterday, but today there was no buy box. Well, there was a buy box for a short time at $100. But with 5 sellers on the listing right now, the lowest price is $138. Right? So that's the price that you can buy it at. We saw on Target right now, show in stock. There's one store here. There was a store here that had it. Okay. So there's a store near me that does have one. So maybe in your area, there's other Targets that have this product in stock. I would advise go get it immediately and list it. That should fly off. So also what I like to look at is the data tab in Keepa. You can go to the offers tab, and you can toggle the last 30 days and see how much it's been selling for, how many units has been sold in the last 30 days by sellers. This is showing that this store, has sold 140 in the lifetime of its selling history. In the last 30 days, it's sold 16. This might be really indicative because of scarcity of the units. I'm sure that if there was more units to go around, there'd be much higher numbers here. You can also go to the buy box statistics and see who has been winning the buy box more than others. 27%, 22%. It's for the most part, it's distributed quite evenly. Amazon was on this listing for a little while, as I alluded to earlier. So it's won 10% of the time, but this store right here has won 27% of the time. So in conclusion, buying for $68, sell for $138. The return is 50%, and the profit is around $34. If the BSR is pretty low right now, which is indicative that it is selling quickly. And right now, with just 5 sellers on the listing, if you're able to get your hands on this product and list it, it'll fly off and you can make that profit pretty quickly. I would advise you to do FBM just because it's hard to find right now. And if you're able to be one of the sellers who are able to list it, you can get it sold quickly. All right, so moving on from manual sourcing, we're going to take this good lead that we found and look at the other sellers on the listing and see what other products that they're selling, which is just called reverse sourcing. And we're hoping that with knowing that this store has this lead, we're hoping that they have other leads that we might be interested in. What I like to do is I look at the reviews. So if they have around 20 to 100 reviews, that's usually indicative that they're an OA seller, an online arbitrage seller. If they're well over 100, usually that means that they have wholesale products and they're selling at really high clip. So looking through here, well, this is a good comparison here, right? This store has 12 ratings versus this store that has over 15,000 ratings. So more than likely, they're doing the wholesale model, and maybe they're also selling some OA units that they know they can make a high profit on. So 10 ratings. So let's check this person out. 12 ratings. Let's look at their store. So BuyBot Pro again is advantageous with this method as well. Again, their panel pops up and we can tell right from the beginning that Amazon's on the listing. This beats having to go on the listing separately, like clicking on this listing, going down and seeing if Amazon's on the listing. We're able to have a snapshot view right from the very beginning and saves us some time, right? So scrolling down, it looks like they have some Crocs, some Adidas. So, okay, so let's look at this Lego Minecraft Bakery. So we can just hit this G right here, which searches immediately on Google. And what is this? It's selling for $24. All right, so if we go over here, I'm not going to be selling from eBay. Kroger has it for 24. Lego has it for 24. So probably not that profitable, right? So, and if we hover over here, we can see the Keepa chart in the bottom right. Amazon's on that listing. Maybe it just got off the listing for a moment of time. That's probably why it's not popping up here as Amazon. So let's look at this one right here, right? So this one we can see from the Keepa chart in the bottom right, Amazon is not on this listing. It even shows that's not on this listing. So let's search this on Google. It's selling for $44. What do we got? 44. I don't see a profitable price to purchase from. Let me just search Lego 313. $32 on eBay. It won't work. Kroger has it for $24. Is it the same product? No, it's not the same product. Let's keep looking here. Now, I want to find a product that's selling for much more than $23, preferably on the $40 price range, just because it gives us some room for profit. At $23, we're going to want to try to find it for like half, like $10. The buy cost, typically, you want to look for 50% downgrade from the actual buy box price. So let's see. This is the one we were already on. And I also want to look at the BSR. 213,000 means it's selling pretty slowly as well. So that's also a key data point that we want to take into account. That's kind of it. Looks like all they're selling is toys and games with this low amount of products in their store. So they don't have a lot of products in their store. And, you know, this can get really mundane. It's just kind of a part of sourcing. You want to do this to get your reps in so you get acclimated with the dashboard, Amazon, just sourcing in general. Very necessary when you first start. So let's go back to the sellers. So that store wasn't great, right? And again, this is just par for the course, right? So let's check that other, again, these are distributor. Let's check out this person's store here. All right, so they have a little more eclectic store with various products. Looks like they have a lot of apparel and whatnot here. Let's stick to toys and games in the category here. Stick to the category. But you're welcome. Again, you don't want to just stick to one category. You want to check all because for all we know, they might have a whole bunch of other profitable products in other categories. But just to stay germane to the topic here, we're gonna stay with Google or stay with Legos. Okay, sold by Amazon. It could be that Amazon is going in and out of this listing, which means Amazon's going out of stock, which means it can be advantageous for us to list when Amazon is out. Yep, Amazon's going in and out, right? So that's probably why sellers are on this listing because they're selling for a much profitable product or much profitable price than what Amazon is selling for when Amazon is off. In the 60 range. There's Lego, Star Wars. Let's search this. $40. Might have another winner here, but the sell price, the buy box is $75 right now. Is that true? Let's see. Lastly, so Amazon is currently on this listing at 45, but we can see that Amazon's off briefly, and when Amazon's off, we're selling it for, still selling for around $60. So I wouldn't say this is profitable unless we found it for much less than $40. So let's go back to their store here. So this one right here, Amazon's not on the listing. 137,000. It's selling pretty slowly. However, it's selling for $64. Let's click it. Double check here. $64.99. We can scroll down. Amazon isn't even on this listing. It's been selling at a pretty stable price for a while, around $40. And then right around here, the sales rank has, it used to be at 60,000 at the beginning of the month, but it's gone higher and higher, maybe because of scarcity of the product and because the price is so high. It's not a price that buyers are interested in buying it at, but $60. So let's search this one. These tabs separate. All right. Walmart. It's like Walmart has it for $30. So $29.98. Let's put $30. So 41% ROI at $13. And it's probably out of stock on Walmart, but you can check stores nearby to see if they are in stock. So this would be another winner. And once you have a lead, once you have one lead, a lot of people are just starting. You might not have a lead to start, and that's what makes things really difficult. Once you find an ASIN that's profitable, especially if it's a replen, like a consumable product, which means that the consumers are going to use it every month. A lot of these things are like, hair products or makeup or beauty products. Those are really good and profitable units, which are also going to be used every month by a customer, so they're more than likely to come back and purchase it again. And once you have those ASINs, right, and it might take you like an hour or two to find that ASIN, but once you find that ASIN, and once you have a portfolio of different ASINs, you're profiting every month on that one ASIN, right? That's why even though you spend 1 hour trying to find a product, you have that product now on your list forever, so it is worthwhile to spend a long time finding these products, right? So, excuse me. Let's see if we can find one more here. So this one right here, selling for 30, a little less than 30. Legos has it for $15. It is available. So let's check this one out. Yep, selling for 30. Looks like the prices dropped recently. 24, 25. But the buy box is at $30. So you could sell this for 30 if you send it in, if you had sent it in. So if we put 15, sell them for 30, it'll be close. 39, about 40% ROI. So this one would be a winner as well. Again, we can check the Keepa real quick here. No buy box on this. Looks like it did have a buy box really high earlier in the year. $36, $40, wow. And then sellers jumped on this listing and plummeted the price, which, you know, whenever sellers, there's an inverse relationship between the buy box or just the selling price as it pertains to the number of sellers that are going on the listing. And so right now the buy box is at $30. Here's the buy box. And juxtapose this to a suppressed buy box where we didn't see this, right? So that's a good comparison for you new sellers if you're trying to understand what the buy box is and what it is not. This has a buy box. You can see the buy now and the add to cart call to action buttons are here, which makes it easier for the consumer to just add to cart rather than click these other view other sellers tab that a lot of consumers I think don't know that this exists. When they don't see this buy box price, I think a lot of people think it's just not available, which as a result hurts the BSR because the BSR is indicative of the sales velocity, and if a consumer thinks it's out of stock, obviously it's going to have a negative impact on the sales velocity. But this would be another winner, right? And this is in stock right now at lego.com. So there's 3 little examples of how to manually source and then take that good lead that you found from manually sourcing to reverse sourcing. And I think this way, these 2 methods are an excellent way for a new seller to just come on and learn the ropes of sourcing before you go on to more complex ways of sourcing, which I'll go in the next video, which I like to use, which is Keepa Product Finder. I think you really need to understand how Keepa tells a tale of the price, the seller count, and all those kind of important data points, as well as using the Keepa's other data points like the offer tab, the buy box statistics tab, things of that nature to see how evenly distribution is going with the buy box, to see if there's a seller that's dominating the buy box, just things of that nature. I've seen hundreds of Keepa charts at this point to where I know if it's a good time to buy and list and compete versus times where I don't think it's the best time, right? So this all came with experience. I've been selling for almost 2 years now, so I'm able to look at it and quickly get an idea of what's going on, which all comes with just knowing what's going on through selling and through experience versus a naked eye who just started selling for the first time. But it's not a hard concept to grasp. It just takes reps and trial and error. And after you made a purchase, if it's a bad buy, if it's a good buy, whatever the case, you want to go back and look at the Keepa chart and see where you purchased it and kind of analyze why you did so, right? So, and BuyBot Pro, really helpful. One thing you really want is, as mundane as it gets from sourcing, the things you do want and tools that you want to add to your repertoire are things that makes your time most efficient. And BuyBot Pro does that for me. It makes my time very efficient, and that's why I love using BuyBot Pro. Obviously, it has so much information here. Use the information that you find the most useful. Again, for me personally, it's this dashboard, the alerts tab, details tab, obviously for your calculator, the export tool, export data tool, BSR, and the charts. I just use the Keepa charts and Profit Protector Pro. If you do get the Repricer, very excellent way to just send your minimum and your maximums to the Repricer rather than going on to the Repricer website and uploading it that way. So anyways, that does it for these products. Hopefully you found value in how I source. Remember, these aren't the exact product you should go and buy, especially people watching this video. If they won't go and buy this product, it might suppress the price anyways. Use this video as a tool on how to source other products and other categories when you're doing your own sourcing.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did find value in that video, drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. By the way, I have a leads list option available, 60 leads a month. We post 3 leads a day, great ROI, great brands. If you're just starting out and you want to get exposed to more brands that you can resell on Amazon, that's a great starting point. And you have one-on-one support from me, right? So you have a leads list, and that leads list subscription comes with my support. So if you have any questions, general Amazon stuff, lead stuff, I'm available, I'm accessible with that subscription. But before you purchase anything and spend your money on anyone's leads list, anyone's course, I considered you subscribing to the free online arbitrage course on my website. That link is below on the Flips Nation website. Anyways, if you want to contact me on Instagram, that link's below, and consider joining the free Discord group, over 1,000 members. You can contact me that way. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video.